Taeyun casually removes his watch before continuing their fight. Afterward, he punches at Hobin, but Hobin manages to duck out of the way. Hobin is surprised at how fast Taeyun can swing his fist. How is Taeyun so fast when the wet floor should be making him slip around? Unlike Hobin, Taeyun isn't wearing water shoes. Hobin was able to keep his distance from Paco during their fight at school, but Taeyun is predicting all of his movements right now. Taeyun finally catches up to Hobin and lands a direct punch to his face. That's when it finally sinks into Hobin that Taeyun's not like Paco at all. Just by looking at Taeyun's feet, one can immediately spot the importance of footwork in fighting. Taeyun might look like he's slipping, but he's actually skillfully using his body to slide closer to Hobin. Hobin realizes that he cannot even run away. He simply protects his face, indifferent to the possibility of getting beat up. Despite the situation, he lands another calf kick, irritating Taeyun. However, Hobin is well aware that Taeyun's punches are too swift for him to counter effectively. Enduring painful blows, Hobin's stamina continues to drain, leaving calf kicks as his only viable option. As he lands another kick, he also eats a punch. Behind the camera, Snapper wishes that Hobin would stop announcing his moves before attacking, recognizing the inevitability of Hobin getting knocked out if this pattern persists. Yet, after receiving another punch to the face, Hobin persists, kicking Taeyun's calf once more. Snapper is perplexed by Hobin's fixation on Taeyun's legs, considering whether there's a deeper motive behind it. He ponders and realizes that perhaps Hobin does have a reason for his actions. Maybe, by shouting his attacks, Hobin aims to catch Taeyun off guard when he focuses on the calf kicks. Hobin employs the same strategy he used against Paco. Shouting calf kick again, Taeyun smiles, having already planned a counter. However, Snapper's prediction only partially comes true. Taeyun falls for Hobin's feint, and instead of a punch as Snapper anticipated, it's a tackle, catching Taeyun off guard. Drawing on his water training, Hobin attempts to unbalance Taeyun, recalling the advice from the Chicken Guy's video on the crucial element missing from failed tackles. By grabbing Taeyun behind the knees and pulling, Hobin succeeds in bringing Taeyun down onto the wet floor. While comments praising Hobin flood in, Snapper senses something amiss. Can Taeyun really be defeated so easily? Undeterred, Hobin continues to follow Samdak, the Chicken Guy's teachings. Instead of throwing punches, he opts to seize Taeyun's collar, pulling him close with both hands. In just a few swift moves, Hobin's forearms are tightly crossed against Taeyun's neck. With his fists clenched, Hobin relies on his closet-hanging training to execute the cross-choke, applying immense pressure on Taeyun's carotid artery. He begins counting silently, knowing it takes about 10 seconds for someone to pass out from the choke. However, Taeyun merely smiles and points out that Hobin's legs aren't positioned correctly. As the 10 seconds pass without Taeyun fainting, despair washes over Hobin's face. He realizes he's broken the cardinal rule of fighting: never get emotional. The less experienced one is, the more crucial it is to remain calm and methodical. Hobin's lapse in composure leads to a swift punch from Taeyun. As the reality of his mistake sets in, Hobin comprehends the magnitude of his error. Despite a month of training, he got carried away with the moves, neglecting the fundamentals of fighting. Taeyun, while throwing him across the bathroom, acknowledges Hobin's improvement in skill in executing the tackle and cross-choke. Snapper trembles in disappointment at Hobin's inability to finish the job, but a comment provides clarity. Taeyun was never truly in jeopardy. In fact, he orchestrated the tackle himself. Taeyun squats before the bleeding Hobin, revealing the shoe he surreptitiously removed from Hobin's foot without detection. This revelation dawns on Hobin, realizing his efforts were futile. Taeyun allowed himself to be tackled to pilfer Hobin's shoes, recalling Samdak's advice on countering Taekwondo practitioners. Hobin understands that if one fails to stop their kicks, fleeing is the next best option. Taeyun dons Hobin's shoes, signaling the return of his formidable weapon. Meanwhile, in a cafe across the city, Kim watches Hobin's live stream, accompanied by Bomi, who staunchly refuses to engage. Kim discerns Bomi's lingering resentment toward Hobin, exacerbated by his avoidance of her calls. Though Bomi remains reticent, Kim remarks on Hobin's bout against a professional, providing commentary on the unfolding events, including Hobin's surprising tackle. Bomi's anger dissipates as she leans in to watch the stream, hopeful for Hobin's success. She questions Kim if this indicates Hobin's victory, but Kim replies in the negative. Kim notices Hobin's failure to restrain Tae-yun's legs and shuts off his phone. Bomi protests, eager to continue watching, but Kim advises her against it, suggesting it's better for her not to witness what comes next. In the bathroom, Snapper urges his friend to focus while Hobin sits on the floor, disoriented and despondent, watching Tae-yun put on his shoes. Hobin grapples with the realization that Tae-yun deliberately allowed himself to be tackled and choked to steal his shoe, rendering his month of hard work futile. Feeling defeated, he quietly apologizes to his fans. However, Snapper's insistence that they still need to make money breaks through Hobin's despair, prompting him to push himself up. Recalling Samdak's teachings, Hobin realizes that Taekwondo fighters rely on both feet to truly fight. Since Tae-yun wears the water shoe on his right foot, he'll likely use his left foot for kicking while balancing on the wet floor with his right. Hobin braces himself and strategizes his next move. He plans to execute another tackle followed by a cross chop to finish. However, his anticipation turns to shock as Tae-yun lifts his feet, revealing the daunting length of his legs. In that moment, Hobin feels a sense of overwhelming distance between them. His thoughts are abruptly interrupted as Tae-yun's kick lands directly in his gut, causing excruciating pain to surge through his body. The impact leaves him breathless, his vision blurring. Recalling the Chicken Master's analogy of a taekwondo kick being akin to a speeding truck, Hobin finds himself agreeing as he experiences the sensation of being hit by a massive force. Despite the agony, Snapper urges him to regain focus, emphasizing the high stakes. They risk losing their YouTube channel. Determined, Hobin fights to stay conscious, even as his mind begins to fade. Struggling for breath, Hobin turns to Snapper, seeking guidance in their dire situation. With all his learned tricks exhausted, he launches a desperate attack against Tae-yun, hoping to inflict some damage. Yet, his efforts prove futile, as Tae-yun, a seasoned Taekwondo professional, effortlessly keeps him at bay, denying any chance for Hobin to close the distance. Tae-yun effortlessly deflects all of Hobin's efforts, kicking him away with contempt. Despite the relentless onslaught, Hobin refuses to relent, launching a calf kick in his next attempt. Yet, the outcome remains unchanged as Tae-yun continues to dominate the encounter, raining heavy kicks upon Hobin's face from various angles. Unyielding, Hobin persists, prompting Tae-yun to escalate his torment by stomping on Hobin's right foot, his dominant one. The excruciating pain causes Hobin to crumple, eliciting mockery from Tae-yun, who taunts him for exaggerating his suffering. Meanwhile, Snapper pleads for mercy, acknowledging Tae-yun's superiority. However, Tae-yun, reveling in his cruelty, refuses to relent, delivering another powerful back kick that sends Hobin crashing into the wall, rendering him motionless. Though Hobin appears on the brink of defeat, Tae-yun claims he's shown him mercy by not using his dominant foot, suggesting that a blow from it could have been fatal. With a chilling warning, Tae-yun reminds Hobin of the consequences had he unleashed his full force. Tae-yun, assessing the damage he inflicted, realizes that he may have broken a few ribs. He prods Hobin, inquiring if the fight will continue. However, Hobin remains silent, prompting Tae-yun to declare himself the victor and end the confrontation. The wager for the bout was control of the viral channel, leading Tae-yun to demand ownership from Snapper, also insisting that Snapper join his team. Overhearing their exchange, Hobin rises once more, displaying his determination to retain control of his channel. He attributes his resilience to rigorous core training, enabling him to endure Taiyun's strikes. Stepping forward with resolve, he announces his intent to demonstrate his third technique: how to overcome a taekwondo fighter as an ordinary person. Hobin strategically positions himself in the narrow confines of a toilet to gain control of the environment, hoping to evade Taiyun's kicks. He reassures his concerned viewers of his well-being and urges them to subscribe to his channel before gearing up for the imminent confrontation. Taiyun is taken aback to find Hobin inside the toilet, realizing it's a ploy to limit his kicking ability. However, Taiyun remains confident in his superiority and launches a back kick at Hobin. This time, Hobin dodges by bracing himself against the top of the door, seizing the opportunity to grab Taiyun. With all his strength, Hobin executes a flawless baseball choke submission hold, leaving Taiyun incapacitated. Watching the live stream alongside Bomi, Kim marvels at Hobin's improvement, amazed that the same kid he underestimated is now overpowering Taiyun. Hobin's victory is complete as he successfully executes the submission move, perfectly knocking. Taiyun experiences the same deep humiliation he felt when he was defeated in an official MMA match in the past. Just like then, he taps out, the ultimate disgrace for a fighter. However, Hobin, driven by adrenaline and the street fight mentality, doesn't notice Taiyun's tap out. Unlike an MMA ring, this is a street fight, and Hobin continues to choke him. Snapper frantically begs Hobin to stop, warning him that he could take Taiyun's life if he continues. But Hobin is too focused, his mind only echoing the Chicken Master's advice to ensure his opponent is completely unconscious before letting go. He counts to 10 as instructed, finally releasing Taiyun only after the count. Taiyun, now fully unconscious, is flooded with memories of his past defeat in the MMA ring. When he regains consciousness, he finds himself being dragged away by Hobin and Snapper, who don't want to leave him lying in a dirty restroom. Despite the intense fight and the raw emotions, Hobin and Snapper show a glimmer of compassion as they move Taiyun to a more dignified place. Unbeknownst to them, Taiyun wakes up. Seeing both guys spreading his legs, he assumes the worst and attacks them. Hobin quickly explains that he was only worried about him, and even hands back the watch that fell out of Taiyun's hand earlier. This small act of kindness makes the usually evil Taiyun admit defeat. He walks away, calling Hobin an annoying guy and letting him keep his viral hit channel. However, he makes it clear that if he ever sees Hobin's face again, he won't spare him. With the fight over, Hobin celebrates his victory by becoming a thirst trap streamer, showcasing his manly body to his viewers, who respond with question marks in the chat. Hobin continues his act, even adding a body spray sponsor, claiming that the brand's spray is the best for men and a must-have for losers who want to get laid. After this much-needed advertisement, Hobin ends the stream and goes back home. Meanwhile, Gilles begins to edit the live stream to create good highlights for their channel, inserting a lot of ads. Her edited video gets a whopping 3 million views almost instantly, and the channel reaches 190,000 subscribers. Hobin thanks his viewers by doing another headstand. However, he is unaware that his current viral video will soon bring many more uninvited enemies who are far worse than Taiyun. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button for the next part, and stay with us for many more anime content. Bye.